On the very night he divorced me, Jiang Xian abandoned his fortune worth billions and chose to take his own life. While he was alive, I hated his crippled leg and resented him even more for forcing me into marriage through coercion and intimidation. It wasn't until I was sorting through his belongings that I stumbled upon his diary. It chronicles his deep, secret love for me over the course of those long 10 years. That's when I realized how deeply he loved me. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back on the day I signed the divorce papers. This time, I held his trembling hand. Jiang Xian. Let's start over. A week after my divorce, I saw the news of Jiang Xian's suicide trending online. The media spoke of this financial genius with a sense of regret. They say he's worth billions, and that he achieved great success at a young age. No one knows why Jiang Xian committed suicide. Right now, I'm on a vacation on an island, celebrating the end of this marriage. The old butler arrived, looking thoroughly worn out from his journey. His hair has already turned gray. He said that Jiang Xian had made his final arrangements very clear and left all his assets to me. That's more wealth than I could ever spend in 100 lifetimes. I didn't know what to do. As far as I'm concerned, Jiang Xian and I are nothing more than a mismatched couple in an arranged business marriage. He has a dream girl he can't seem to win over, while I'm shouldering the heavy burden of the company's cash flow. After we got married, our relationship grew distant, and Jiang Xian bought me an exorbitantly priced mansion in the city center. But he himself has never lived in this so-called wedding home. I always thought he hated me and was hoping to end our marriage. However, after the documents were signed, the old steward hesitated for a long time before saying he wanted to take me somewhere. The young master really likes you. The year he spent married to you was the happiest time of his life. As you know, he has a disability and has always felt inferior, thinking he isn't good enough for you. There are some things he doesn't dare to say. But I think you should know, madam, that apartment is near my high school. As I opened the door, I saw a huge portrait of myself hanging on the wall. It is an oil painting of me wearing a wedding dress. Jiang Xian and I never had a wedding, and I've never worn a wedding dress. But in the painting, I'm smiling happily, and every shimmering detail in the folds of my wedding dress has been meticulously captured. Every stroke is a testament to my deep devotion. At the bottom of the page was Jiang Xian's name. There is a line of small print on the back. Shui is always happy. Every corner of this hundreds square meter house bears traces of me. Here's a photo of me playing the piano at my high school's anniversary celebration. A notebook with my name on it. The ugly doll I made in craft class. There's even a group photo at the graduation ceremony. I gave a speech in the auditorium as an outstanding student. The younger version of Jiang Xian is in the audience. He held up his phone and took a photo of me on stage through the crowd. In the photo, the handsome young man is smiling shyly with his lips pursed. Later, when I became a celebrity, every role I've played and every product I've endorsed can be found in this room. Every detail here seems to say that Jiang Xian loves me deeply. But before the engagement, I clearly heard him say it with my own ears. Let's just cancel the wedding. Don't let anyone find out about my relationship with Chu Shui. His tone was fast and urgent back then, full of disdain. It's as if marrying me were some kind of forced assignment. On the day they received our marriage certificate, Jiang Xian stared at it blankly for a moment. The very first thing he said, "The money has already been transferred." This marriage came about because my family needed financial support. I'm at a disadvantage in this relationship, so I was already prepared to face some difficulties. But I still felt humiliated by that remark. I smiled, my tone restrained and distant. "Mr. Jiang is so generous. It's been a pleasure working with you." The memory ends. I put down the oil painting I was working on. The moment I stood up, everything suddenly started spinning. Everything went black, and I fainted. Open your eyes again. I've been reborn. The loud music from the bar filled the air. Before I knew it, someone suddenly wrapped their arms around me. Today is the big day when Shui and that cripple from the Jiang family are getting divorced. Everyone, raise your glasses and let's have a toast. Divorce party, let's drink until we drop. Divorce party. A chill ran down my spine. and I instantly realized what was happening. In my past life, I mailed the divorce papers to Jiang Xian, and then, egged on by my friends in the social circle, I threw a party. After coming home with a hangover, I ran into Jiang Xian in the living room. Rarely ever comes over. He was holding the signed divorce agreement. I thought he was just as eager. So I smiled and wished him a happy divorce. I completely overlooked how distraught Jiang Xian looked. And then came the news of his death. No way. I jumped to my feet. He rushed out amid the astonished stares of the crowd. Someone tried to grab me. Xue, where are you going? Zhou Huai will be here any minute. That's right. I set this up just for you two. I am trying to set you up. Zhou Huai is my childhood friend. To our friends. We were the perfect couple who were torn apart. I didn't even look back. Jiang Xian and I haven't divorced. I don't plan on getting a divorce either. Also, don't call him the cripple. I don't like it. The banquet hall was bustling with people, and glasses clinked merrily. I kept calling Jiang Xian, but no one answered. I was so anxious that I broke out in a sweat. Just then, I heard a murmur of conversation coming from behind the screen. That cripple from the Jiang family snatched up that contract again. He doesn't have a wife or kids. Why is he working so hard? I heard he got married. But no one knows who his wife is. I bet she doesn't even have him in her sights. What woman would ever like a cripple? Besides, I heard that in that car accident years ago, he didn't just break his leg, lost his manhood too. It made me grind my teeth in anger. Jiang Xian is a tough negotiator in the business world. Unable to compete with him, these people can only band together behind his back in a fit of impotent rage. I took a few steps forward. Just about to storm in and confront them, I saw Jiang Xian in the distance. He really stood out in the crowd. He was wearing a well-tailored suit. His raven black hair combed back to reveal a broad forehead, well-defined features. Handsome and tall. It's like a luxury fashion magazine. When Jiang Xian was young, he was involved in a serious car accident, resulting in the amputation of his left lower leg. He wore a prosthetic limb and looked every bit the gentleman, without a single flaw. Jiang Xian was nearly perfect in every way. Consequently, these men who were no match for him were particularly eager to attack his injured leg. A bunch of good-for-nothing losers. Seeing Jiang Xian alive, my eyes welled up, and I almost started to cry. Jiang Xian. I couldn't help but shout out loud. Everyone's eyes turned to me. There was a low murmur of conversation. Isn't that Chu Xue? That actress? Wow. Even a cripple keeps a celebrity girlfriend. The less capable a man is, the more women he needs to keep on the side to prove how capable he is. But the moment he locked eyes with Jiang Xian, there was not a trace of surprise in his eyes. Instead, he turned away nervously. It seems like he doesn't want to see me at all. I quickened my pace and walked over to Jiang Xian. She naturally slipped her arm through his. The moment their bodies touched, Jiang Xian froze. His voice was cold and harsh as he spoke. If you want a divorce, have your lawyer talk to me. The two companies are deeply intertwined financially, so it's not uncommon for a divorce case like this to drag on for years. In the past, if I'd heard that, I would have just assumed Jiang Xian was trying to humiliate me with money. Now I know. He just doesn't want to get a divorce. My heart sank, and I was just about to speak up to explain. Mr. Jiang, why don't you introduce the lady standing next to you? The host of today's banquet has arrived. I know Jiang Xian is trying to secure a major international contract tonight. Everyone around here is a rival with ulterior motives. The couple has a loving relationship, so they place great importance on their business partner's family stability. He believes that a man who takes his family responsibilities seriously is a trustworthy partner. A smile spread across my face, and I clasped Jiang Xian's hand tightly. Introduce yourself in fluent French. I'm his wife. I drank a lot of champagne at the party. Not only did wave after wave of people come up to me to toast me, but they also asked about my relationship with Jiang Xian. I patiently explained everything to them. We've been married for a year, and we get along very well. Oh, you didn't know? Maybe you're not important enough for me to tell you. She made a point of showing off her affection right in front of the men who had just been gossiping about her. Jiang Xian followed me obediently the whole time, a faint blush spreading across his jade-like face. His gaze kept falling on me from time to time, but when I looked back at him, he immediately looked away to avoid my gaze. By the time the party was over, I was pretty drunk. Out of consideration for Jiang Xian's mobility issues, I didn't dare ask him to carry me. I just held on to him, refusing to let go, like a koala. There's nothing I can do about it. The memories of his past life are just too harrowing. I'm really afraid that if I take my eyes off him for a second, Jiang Xian will do something foolish again. The Maybach glided smoothly into the garage. Jiang Xian bought this villa for me after we got married. Our relationship is strained, and he's never stayed over here. I lay on the couch, completely drunk, still clutching Jiang Xian's hand. He crouched down beside me, looking at me with a complex expression. Why are you being so nice to me all of a sudden? Aren't you the one who wanted to divorce me? I was so drunk I couldn't make out a word he was saying. I just watched his mouth as it opened and closed. Jiang Xian had full lips with a hint of pink. He had just taken a sip of water, and his lips still glistened with moisture. It made my throat go dry, and I couldn't take it anymore. He grabbed his tie and yanked it. She quickly licked his lips. It's so sweet, I'll have another. Before I could make another move, Jiang Xian panicked and covered my mouth with his hand. Her ears, cheeks, and even her neck turned red. Do you know what you're doing? I don't know. All I know is that I still want something sweet. Seeing that he was resisting, he simply reached out and wrapped his arm around the other person's neck. Jiang Xian stayed still, waiting for me to kiss him. Before I could take a bite, my phone screen lit up. It was a text message from Zhou Huai. Aren't we here to celebrate your divorce? Why did you leave first? I want to get my hands on that plot of land in Dongjiang. Could you take a peek at the lame man's bid documents for me? Why don't you hold off on the divorce for now? Just do it for my sake. My phone is right there by the couch, with the screen locked. Everything is plain to see. Jiang Xian froze in his tracks. In an instant, his eyes turned crimson. My whole body was shaking. Did you do all that tonight just for him? Hold me, kiss me, and tell everyone you're my wife. Is it all for him? Jiang Xian looked as if he were about to break. Her eyelashes fluttered slightly, and her dark eyes were filled with anguish. But I was so drunk that I had no idea what he was talking about. I just thought he looked so beautiful with tears in his eyes. I could see it but couldn't reach it. So I let out a couple of frustrated grunts. No matter what you're doing, Jiang Xian seemed to have made up his mind. As long as we don't get divorced, you can have whatever you want. My ears have an automatic filter, so I only heard the part that said, you can have anything you want. I want a kiss. After saying that, I straightened my back and leaned in to kiss her. However, Jiang Xian dodged it. There's no need to go to all that trouble. I'll get you the documents for the Dongjiang development project right away. Me. What am I supposed to do with this? Before I could ask, the annoying ringtone of my phone went off. It was a friend who's coming to the party tonight. Zhou Hui is here, and he brought you flowers. Come on over. A divorce is such a joyous occasion that we have to celebrate all night long. Even though I hung up as quickly as I could, Jiang Xian still heard every word. The light in his eyes faded bit by bit. I'll go make you a bowl of hangover soup. Once you've finished it, Uncle Zheng will drive you home. I know you mistook me for someone else because you were drunk. As for tonight's kiss, I know my place. I won't take it the wrong way. I grabbed his hand. Can you bear to let me go? Jiang Xian, as long as we don't get divorced, anything goes. Me. I must have been blind in my past life. But Jiang Xian is a dumb fool who can't keep his mouth shut either. I deleted that person from WeChat right in front of him. Actually, I don't really know these people very well. They're all friends of Zhou Huai. Jiang Xian, you're the one I like. Before I got married, my mom showed me a photo of Jiang Xian. He was so handsome that I nodded on the spot. to make sure he wasn't just a pretty face in photos. I even drove over to the Jiang building and staked it out. It's just that there have been too many misunderstandings since we got married. I thought Jiang Xian hated me, and my pride wouldn't let me back down. So I had no choice but to pretend I didn't care about him at all. The budding feelings were nipped in the bud, but Jiang Xian didn't believe a word of what I said. That's enough. Shuai. I've seen all the chat logs. He closed his eyes, his raven black eyelashes trembling slightly. Unconcealable pain. I know you hate me, but when you always lie to me, it makes me sad. 2. They say a man's tears are a woman's aphrodisiac. I feel like I'm full of energy right now. Jiang Xian didn't want to talk to me any further. He grabbed the black and gold cane lying nearby and used it to pull himself to his feet. I looked at it and felt like that lousy cane was just getting on my nerves. So I grabbed Jiang Xian's shirt with one hand and kicked the cane with my foot. I gave it a weak kick, but instead of knocking it away, I ended up stubbing my toe. That hurts. My face scrunched up. You're just being stubborn. You and that lousy stick of yours are teaming up to pick on me. You're trying to kick me out. Is that any way for a husband to treat his wife? Jiang Xian didn't move. I glared at him. A long time. Where does it hurt? I'll put some ointment on it for you. I looked down and saw that not only was there no broken skin, there wasn't even a red mark. Me. I didn't care about any of that. I just reached out and wrapped my arms around Jiang Xian's neck. Up close. I found that Jiang Xian was exactly my type in every way. You smell so good. I acted like a hooligan, burying my face in Jiang Xian's chest and sniffing around. I felt a spot where my skin was touching something start to get abnormally hot. And then I accidentally fell asleep in his arms. When I woke up the next day, I was lying in the big bed in the master bedroom, wearing a silk robe. Jiang Xian was nowhere to be seen. There was a document and a USB drive on the nightstand. Upon opening the cover, there lay the bid documents for the Dongjiang development project. My hand trembled. Does Jiang Xian really think that everything I did last night was just for the sake of this development project? I swallowed my anger and called him. The call connected quickly, but the tone turned cold. It was as if the well-behaved, kissable Jiang Xian from last night had vanished. I've put what you wanted on the nightstand. You think I'm going to give this to Zhou Hui? Whatever you want, you can give it to someone else if you like. Fine. Just you wait. After hanging up, I felt a bit down. Jiang Xian doesn't believe me at all, but it doesn't matter. His heart is already mine anyway. Whenever I have him by my side, he can't help but look at me with those moist eyes. I both long for it and fear being hurt. In my past life, I knew nothing, but it's not too late to make amends. I quickly changed my clothes and rushed downstairs. I drove straight to Jiang Xian's house. This estate is located right next to the city's most famous tourist attraction. It may seem understated, but every detail exudes an air of unattainability born of wealth. The old butler, who had been notified in advance, was waiting for me at the door. He was pacing back and forth anxiously. I looked at his still jet-black hair and broke into a big smile. I'm taking Jiang Xian with me. I disagree. 2 hours later, Jiang Xian rushed back. What greeted him was luggage that was almost packed. I didn't even look up. The objection is overruled. Then she turned to the butler and said, Jiang Xian would look so handsome in this tie, I have to take it with me. Zhao Bo took it and quickly packed it into his suitcase. Let's go now. If you need anything else, just give me a call, ma'am, and I'll have someone bring it over. With that, he pushed his suitcase and headed for the door. My impatience was written all over my face. I couldn't wait to shove Jiang Xian into my car. Jiang Xian looked at the bedroom, which I had cleared out almost entirely. He looked a little bewildered. You like this place? So you want me to move out? No. I'm taking you with me. From now on, you're going to live with me. I painted a bright future for Jiang Xian. Once you move in, you'll see me every morning when you open your eyes. I'll give you a good morning kiss and have breakfast with you. We'll walk hand in hand, go to work separately, and then go home together. I thought Jiang Xi was very happy. but he remained silent, lowering his gaze, and did not speak for a long time. What do you want? The Dongjiang project or a divorce? What price will I have to pay for a life like this? I was stunned. A deep sense of sorrow welled up inside me. Jiang Xian. All I want is for you to live a good life. Just before we were about to leave, I got up to find Jiang Xian. As I rounded the corner of the hallway, I suddenly heard the butler's voice. He went on and on with his instructions. Young master, I think the mistress seems to like you quite a bit. You need to be more enthusiastic. 2. Jiang Xian. She doesn't like me. She just needs me. She has someone she loves. And I used underhanded tactics to force her to stay with me. The butler was silent for a moment. In any case, not getting a divorce is a good thing. And living together is even better. There's always a chance. Jiang Xian gave a self-deprecating smile. No one will ever love me. I used to do my best at everything, but I couldn't even get a single word of praise from my parents. Besides, I'm disabled now. Once we start living together, she might end up hating me even more when she sees my legs. A look of pity flashed across the butler's face, but the words he wanted to say remained unsaid. Jiang Xian interrupted. Jiang Nian's birthday is coming up soon. Could you help me pick out a gift to send her? Don't worry about the price. I'm going to head out now. The back seat of a Bentley. I watched Jiang Xian through the reflection in the car window. I was thinking about the conversation I had just heard. Jiang Nian. I've heard that name before. He is Jiang Xian's younger brother. Zhou Huai once mentioned this in a sarcastic tone. He said that Jiang Xian was just a stepping stone, and that in the end, everything belonging to the Jiang family would surely go to his younger brother. The neon lights outside the window cast a glow across Jiang Xian's handsome features. He looked down at the documents with a blank expression. It seems that the scene I happened to stumble upon was just a figment of my imagination. Children who don't know how to cry and throw tantrums will grow up to deceive themselves into believing they want nothing at all. I leaned in and rested my head on Jiang Xian's shoulder. Just like comforting a puppy. She gently stroked the hair at the back of his head. I suspect Jiang Xian rarely has physical contact with others. The moment someone gets close, his whole body tenses up. I gave him a light punch in frustration. Relax. I'm tired. That's the price you pay. If you live with me, you have to be my human pillow. Jiang Xian didn't say a word, but obediently relaxed his muscles. I settled into a comfortable spot and breathed in the faint scent of agarwood wafting from Jiang Xian. Suddenly, I felt sleepy, half asleep, half awake. I suddenly heard Jiang Xian mutter softly, "This is a reward." The car pulled up in front of the villa. I walked ahead of Jiang Xian, dreaming of the future. We can free up some space in the walk-in closet and put your clothes in the master bedroom. Jiang Xian listened quietly. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly, and his half-lowered eyes held a hint of anticipation. It was clear he was in a good mood. Just then, a figure emerged from the shadows by the door. Why did it take you so long to get back? You didn't even answer your phone. Zhou Huai wore a cynical smile. When speaking to me, his tone was familiar and warm, exuding a sense of closeness. He gave Jiang Xian a half-hearted greeting. I'm going to borrow Shuei for a moment to have a quick chat. I hope you don't mind. It's broken. I turned my head to look at Jiang Xian. Just as I thought, the moment Zhou Huai appeared, Jiang Xian's eyes darkened. With a long stride, he walked past me, dragging his suitcase. He acted so quickly that I didn't even have time to explain. Zhou Huai was still chattering away beside him. Why did you come back with Jiang Xian? Didn't you say you hated being in the same room with him? I cut him off right away. I've blocked you. Don't contact me again. Zhou Huai didn't think much of it. Is the young lady mad at me again? Did the paparazzi catch me hanging out with some actress? I'm just messing around with them. I've been waiting for you all day. I won't accept any compensation measures other than the documents for the Dongjiang project. My mind wandered to some memories from the past. My dad is a nouveau riche. After he made his fortune, he transferred me to a private school. I'm skinny, short, and uncool. I was singled out by some troublemakers and almost became a victim of bullying. It was Zhou Huai who saved me, so I've always considered him a very good friend. All these years. Aside from Jiang Xian, whom everyone sees as a case of a marriage of convenience with no real love, there has been no one else of the opposite sex in my life besides Zhou Huai. Perhaps that is why he is so brazen. I said coldly, "It's none of my business who you hang out with. I don't pay that much attention to you, so don't get too full of yourself. Jiang Xian is my husband. There's no way I'd ever harm his interests for your sake." The smile on Zhou Huai's face froze. "What kind of nonsense are you spouting? Don't you hate Jiang Xian and want to divorce him? The Dongjiang project is just a small deal to him and you won't even do me this little favor." I looked at Zhou Hui's face. It just feels unfamiliar. In my previous life, Jiang Xian passed away and left all his money to me. After amassing a fortune, Zhou Huai actually proposed to me. What I thought was friendship. It turns out I was nothing more than a walking ATM in other people's eyes. Zhou Huai, I'm very grateful for all the help you gave me when I was a child. That's why I've always tried so hard to repay you. I was even the one who set you up when you wanted to get into the entertainment business. But you're always secretly trying to drive a wedge between me and Jiang Xian. Let's not keep in touch so much from now on. When I walked in, Jiang Xian was standing in the living room. The suitcase was sitting at his feet, showing no signs of having been opened. "Me, why didn't you ask someone to clean it up?" Jiang Xian glanced casually at the spot behind me. "I thought I'd have to move out just as it is. Zhou Hui and I are just friends." "No. We won't even be friends anymore. You don't need to explain it to me. I won't interfere with your freedom. TSK. You're clearly feeling down, why not just admit it?" I walked over and gently embraced Jiang Xian. "No way. I've got a mouth, so I'm going to explain it. I am going to say it. I don't like Zhou Hui. I like a certain heartbroken puppy, even though he's pretending not to care right now. Can I go pack my bags now?" Even after I insisted strongly, Jiang Xian still refused to sleep in the master bedroom. "It's okay. I have legs and can walk." She slipped right into his room. The sound of trickling water could be heard coming from the bathroom. I sat on the edge of the bed. My mind was filled with what the butler had said to me that afternoon. Mr. Jiang and his wife are in a marriage of convenience. There is absolutely no love between them. Since the young master was born, they've hardly lived together at all. Each has had many partners. As the sole heirs of both families, they set very high standards for the young master. Sometimes, these expectations are simply too much for a child to handle. But he was always a star student. Until the car accident. Most parents would feel sorry for their child. But Mr. Jiang and his family decided to have another child. That day, I listened in silence as Jiang Xian told the story of his upbringing. It just seems absurd and ridiculous. Parents who had previously been on bad terms suddenly saw their relationship take a dramatic turn for the better when they had their second child, becoming a happy family of 3. However, Jiang Xian was an unwelcome outsider. So, it was only after I filed for divorce that he, in utter despair, chose to take his own life. There was nothing for him to linger over. That's also why, even though I was the one who reached out this time, he still didn't dare. I can't believe I'll ever find happiness. The sound of water stopped. Jiang Xian came out wearing long sleeves and long pants. Her wet hair hung down over her forehead. A drop of water rolled down her high, straight nose and fell onto her chin, continued down along the neckline. I suddenly felt a little thirsty. When he saw me, Jiang Xian looked a little startled. "What are you doing here?" "Because a husband and wife should sleep in the same room. I have every right to do so. You must fulfill your obligations." Jiang Xian was silent for a moment. He managed to ask the question with great difficulty. "Look down." I looked down. I took in every inch of Jiang Xian's broad shoulders, narrow waist, and long legs. He nodded. "I'm very satisfied. The reason I look like a normal person right now is because I'm wearing a prosthetic limb." Jiang Xian frowned, looking both embarrassed and distressed. Her eyes were red. "Que, I don't know why you've suddenly decided to be nice to me out of the blue. But when you see the wound, you'll be scared. I hugged him tenderly. No. I swear to you. I don't know why Jiang Xian has such a deep psychological trauma. He's so outstanding and brilliant. Yet I suffer from low self-esteem because of this minor issue. I pushed him toward the bed. Then she turned around and straddled him. I don't mind at all. I wouldn't be afraid even if you were in a wheelchair. Because. I lowered my voice and leaned close to Jiang Xian's ear, while blowing gently on his earlobe. He said, because I can move on my own. I wrapped my arms around Jiang Xian. Nibble away slowly, just like a chick pecking at grain. He, too, began to feel aroused, and his whole body was burning up. Wait a minute. Jiang Xian seemed to have made a momentous decision. He took off his prosthetic leg, through the empty pant leg. I could even see the stump where his leg had been severed midway down his calf. His voice trembled. Did you see that? This very moment. Jiang Xian closed his eyes, as if awaiting the judgment of the gods. Fear, anticipation, the veins standing out on the back of her hand, and her eyelashes trembling uncontrollably. It doesn't matter if Shui finds it disgusting. In any case, he had already run through the worst-case scenario in his head hundreds of times. Maybe like his younger brother. She was so scared by his legs that she burst into tears and screamed that he was a monster. He even threw up right there. Even if that's the case. It's okay. As he waited anxiously, Jiang Xian felt the dampness of the liquid as it fell onto his skin. It also has a soft texture. He opened his eyes and saw the girl in front of him with tears streaming down her face. She gently planted a kiss on his thigh. There was nothing but tenderness in his eyes. Jiang Xian. Does that hurt? His heart instantly settled. The kiss on his thigh was like flipping a switch. Jiang Xian suddenly changed his ways. Became extremely assertive. He leaned down, and his passionate kiss landed on the corner of her eye and her lips. The road winds its way downhill. I was so overwhelmed by all the kisses. I opened my eyes just in time to see Jiang Xian rip off his shirt. The moonlight poured down, and I could see everything clearly. A lean, muscular chest, and a faintly visible six-pack. I couldn't help but reach out. The texture is just as I expected, smooth and velvety. Don't. Jiang Xian sounded a little out of breath. Am I the kind of person who just goes along with everything? She immediately gave his lower back a couple of quick rubs. The next moment, Jiang Xian took my hand, slipped his fingers through mine, and interlaced our fingers tightly. He looked at me with downcast eyes, his gaze filled with a burning, passionate intensity. Snow. Snow. He kept repeating my name over and over. Her voice was gentle, but the movements were so intense that I found them a bit hard to handle. Jiang Xian. Let go of me. I'm going back to my room. I'm done playing. How come you have so much stamina? I really can't take it anymore. The next day, I woke up with a swollen lip from being kissed. I feel completely drained. You're awake. Jiang Xian was leaning over the bed, looking at me. He leaned in, wanting to kiss her again. I was so scared I quickly crawled back under the covers. If you dare come back, I'll lose my temper. A man who's had his fill of meat is truly terrifying. I just can't handle it. Starting today, Jiang Xian practically wanted to stick to my side 24 hours a day. Like a 1 meter tall, a giant 87-inch figurine. Use video conferencing for meetings. Have your assistant deliver all the documents to the villa. I really can't take it anymore. I suggested he go to the office. Jiang Xian looked dejected. Her eyelashes were half lowered, giving her a look of hurt and resentment. Don't you want to see me all the time? Me. I kept telling myself he was just playing the victim. Why don't I go with you to the office? As long as you leave this home environment. I hope I don't end up in bed with him again before I know it. In the elevator, I had my face completely covered with a mask and a hat. 2 young women were chatting nearby. Sure enough, the Mid-Autumn Festival gifts included products endorsed by Shui. I knew it. I knew there had to be a fellow fan in the office, secretly using their purchasing authority to support the business. But I asked around, And the office said these items were added by the president's office, the CEO's office. Is there a secretary there who also likes shui? She's got good taste. As I listened to their conversation, something suddenly came to mind. My agent once mentioned to me that there was a mysterious figure in my fan community. The entire fan club structure was built entirely by them. A key member of the team, with professional level expertise. Everyone else has made an appearance. Only this mysterious fan. But he never publicly attends any in-person events, nor does he chat online. Just providing money and labor. A flicker of doubt crossed my mind. Could this be Jiang Xian? I was just about to call my agent to check on the situation. Her call came right then. The ringtone sounded strangely jarring. Shui. Someone took a picture of you. It's #1 on the trending list. Under my name. Chu Shui's secret marriage. When I clicked on it, all I saw was news that was bad for me. The angle of the leaked photo was clever. It captured us from behind. Jiang Xian's walking stick is clearly visible. There are paid commenters stirring up trouble in the comments section. They say I did it for the money, that I became a mistress in Mar. Read a disabled millionaire 20 years my senior. Chu Shui is quite the character. She's notorious for being willing to do anything to become famous. How disgusting people like this can actually become famous. The Chinese entertainment industry is doomed. Ban them. Get them out of the entertainment industry. Director Song's film is clearly a contender for awards. And everyone has their eyes on the lead female role. I suspect the production companies behind it are all ganging up on you. Public opinion is currently very unfavorable toward you. Everyone is saying you're materialistic and money-hungry, and that you're too different from the real-life inspiration for the female lead. In Jiang Xian's penthouse office, which spans several hundred square meters, I took the food the chef had prepared out of the takeout bag, while comforting the agent. Don't worry. If I were scared of such petty tricks, all these years would have been a complete waste. I'll meet with Director Song this afternoon. The agent hummed in acknowledgement. He asked hesitantly, but all I've heard over the years is that you got married. What's your husband like, anyway? You know how demanding fans are these days when it comes to female celebrities' partners. If you end up dating a guy fans don't approve of, they'll definitely unfollow you right away. Let me know in advance so I can prepare a PR strategy. I smiled. I was just about to open my mouth to brag. When I looked up, I realized that Jiang Xian had actually ended the company meeting early. He hurried up the stairs. The phone screen is on the Weibo interface. He obviously saw those news reports as well. He looked just like a defeated, dejected little puppy. I'm sorry for interrupting your work. I'll have someone take that post down right away. Wait a minute. I held his hand. Why cancel? I was just planning to use this opportunity to announce my engagement. I used to think Jiang Xian looked down on me. It wasn't until later that I realized he always put himself in a subordinate position when he was with me, even though he has achieved the highest levels of success and fame, in the secular sense, and amassed immense wealth. But in front of me, he still lacks confidence. I stroked Jiang Xian's cheek. Don't worry. My fans are sure to love you, because they're just as lustful as I am. A few minutes later, in the face of the uproar in public opinion, I posted a Weibo. Just 4 words. Straight from the original photo. Include 1 image. In the photo, Jiang Xian looks straight into the camera. The lighting and composition don't rely heavily on atmosphere. He's just so cool. The comments section was instantly flooded with comments. Is that my brother-in-law? Okay. So the beauty didn't end up marrying an ugly guy. A happy ending. Haha. This must be photoshopped. Could the nose and jawline look any more fake? Didn't they say he was 50? He looks younger than I do at 18. I'm speechless. So what if he's handsome and rich? He's disabled. For crying out loud. Chu Shui is just a gold digger. Okay. She's totally unfit to be a positive public figure. I didn't even call you an idiot. So don't go showing off your pitiful IQ. What? You're saying I should sacrifice myself and marry a total hunk just for the money? Where do I line up for a deal this good? I'm grabbing a number right now. What an amazing face. I'm sure it's all for love. Because I've fallen head over heels at first sight. I was reclining in Jiang Xian's arms, scrolling through the comments. Whenever you see something fun, point it out to him. Look, my fans really like you. They all say you're handsome and that we look great together. Jiang Xian's lips curled into a smile. He was clearly delighted. He grabbed my hand as I was about to swipe the screen. Could you take a screenshot of those comments and send it to me? I want to give them gifts. There are so many people praising you. You can't possibly keep up. I've got plenty of money, so I'm giving it away. All right. But I have one condition. I changed my position. She straddled Jiang Xian's lap. Look intently into his eyes. I know you've liked me for a long time, but I really have a terrible memory. Could you tell me again what happened back then? In my past life. In that house. I witnessed Jiang Xian's undying love for me, but before I could ask the butler anything, I was reborn. This time. I want to hear it from Jiang Xian himself. In the hospital room, the young Jiang Xian lay motionless on the bed. His parents didn't know he had woken up. They were still arguing heatedly. They blamed each other, accusing the other of failing to take proper care of the child. In the end, they parted on bad terms. Leave him in the care of the butler, Uncle Zhao. And then later, he learned from Uncle Zhao that his parents were planning to have another child, because he no longer met their expectations. That night, Jiang Xian slipped away to the rooftop to be alone. He wasn't planning on doing anything foolish. I just want to sit here and stare at the moon for a while. Actually, the moon isn't quite full yet today. Wait until the 15th. When both the stars and the moon will be out, that's when it will be truly beautiful. Once you're dead, you won't be able to see it. Only then did he notice a girl standing in the shadows. He was also in a wheelchair. Seeing that he didn't reply, the girl continued. You're new here, so you don't know yet. But the therapeutic meals here are really delicious. And the nurses even bring us flowers in the morning. It's such a shame he died. Jiang Xian found her a bit noisy. He really wanted to tell her to shut up, but he just couldn't bring himself to say it. The girl sat quietly by his side, occasionally commenting on the night sky. Perhaps, just as his mother said, he is a vulnerable person who needs companionship. I had an amputation. Jiang Xian suddenly spoke up and watched the other person's reaction coldly. If she gave him that sympathetic look, he'd tell her to get lost. Then you can wear a prosthesis that'll be just as cool as Iron Man. The girl eagerly leaned in, grabbed his arm, and started chatting with him. Have you seen any superhero movies? Who's your favorite? I started dancing when I was very young and did it for 10 years. I used to want to become a professional dancer, but that's out of the question now. The doctor said I can't do high-intensity exercise anymore. I'll let you in on a secret. I was actually planning to go up to the roof and do something stupid, but that day, it was very windy that day, as if someone were trying to keep me there. Suddenly, I realized that not being able to dance wasn't so bad after all. I can still soak up the sun, sleep, and eat. The conversation paused briefly at this point. Jiang Xian admitted that he felt comforted, but everything he had been taught growing up told him that a person must never admit to their weaknesses or emotional needs. Thank you, Jiang Xian spoke, his tone cold and distant yet polite. How much do you need? Huh. The girl's almond-shaped eyes widened. You're a better therapist than my own psychiatrist. I could probably pay you 5,000 yuan an hour. Jiang Xian looked over. He didn't spell it out, hoping the girl across from him would pick up on his hint. He wanted her to spend more time talking with him. You can pay extra. Oh, come on. I think you must have hit your head in a car accident. You want me to pay just for chatting a few minutes? Those days of rehabilitation were a rare moment of relaxation in Jiang Xian's life. He doesn't have to be on edge all the time, trying to be the best kid in his social circle. The physical pain is still bearable, not to mention that Chu Shui is always chattering away at him. She seemed to be imagining all sorts of things in her head. She just couldn't shake the feeling that he might secretly take his own life. So every now and then, she would appear before him. I brought you an orange. It's really delicious. Life is so good. Come on. Let's go soak up some sun. It's warm and cozy, and it doesn't cost a thing. Why do you always wear a mask? You're clearly very good looking. Because he still can't bring himself to accept his disability. Whenever I happen to catch a glimpse of a mirror, I'm transported back to the moment of the accident. He needs time to come to terms with reality. He wanted to take up all of Chu Shui's time as well, but she's a ray of sunshine. All the young patients in the hospital love her. Chu Shui always had a little entourage trailing behind her. She wasn't special at all, fortunately. Chu Shui also had times when she needed him. For example, scratching your head and rubbing your cheeks while working on a math problem. He offered to help, but was flatly refused. No. Thanks. Kids like you who grew up abroad aren't good at math. Jiang Xian. To prove he was Chinese, Jiang Xian explained the problem to her 3 times. You can always ask me. He pretended to be calm, but he was so happy he almost laughed out loud. But there is no future. My mother's flight arrived that afternoon. And after quickly completing the discharge procedures, she insisted on taking him back to the UK. They didn't even have time for a proper farewell. From now on, I'll never receive oranges from her again. No one came to remind him anymore that tonight's night sky was beautiful and that looking at it would make him happy. He was sent to one of the UK's top boarding schools. Learned to go up to the rooftop alone to watch the stars. Whenever I miss her, I'll take a 12-hour flight from London to see her. I want to show off my prosthetic limb. But he saw Chu Shui with her arm around another boy. I'm Zhou Huai's girlfriend. Jiang Xian walked away, looking completely dejected. As a result, I missed what happened next. After the girl who had confessed her feelings left, Chu Shui quickly pulled her hand away from Zhou Hui, looking annoyed. Don't come to me with this kind of thing next time. I'm always covering for you, and it's a huge waste of my time. Come on. I've saved you from plenty of bad dates, you know, and you still dare to look down on me. I'm the school heartthrob every girl's dream. Chu Shui curled the corner of her mouth in disdain. She certainly doesn't approve of that playboy's behavior. You're not my type at all. What I want is someone who loves only me and will always love only me. There's no such thing as a man like that. Men are all unfaithful. Just because you don't have something doesn't mean others don't. Chu Shui couldn't be bothered to explain any further and just walked away. She felt a little distracted the whole way. Looking back frequently, it feels like I've missed something important. But that's okay. People who matter will overcome any obstacle. It happened again. Following the official announcement of He Jiangxi and Yan Guan, his vest fell off. It all started when a fan posted a message on Weibo. Hey fellow fans. Can you tell me if this handsome guy I met at the live event is my brother-in-law? Here are a few blurry candid photos. The man in the picture is wearing a mask. Although she was bundled up tightly and standing in the corner, she had an extraordinary presence. I've run into this hottie too. I snapped a secret photo of him as well. He wasn't holding his phone up to record a video either, just stared at Shui with eyes like searchlights. Awesome. It's a Yandera. We're saved. Holy cow. Is this a secret crush comes true story? Falling for a female celebrity and then marrying her. So good. As more and more fans joined the discussion, Jiang Xian's secret fan account was accidentally exposed. It's all just a bunch of sycophantic flattery. Does the CEO usually just use his good looks to play on his phone with a blank expression while attending financial summits? When everyone thinks he's negotiating a multi-billion-dollar deal, is he actually posting childish comments on Weibo like, "Aw, my wife is so beautiful. I'll love her forever. Haha. Save a bitter tea seed for my brother-in-law." I went through my private messages and realized I'd actually chatted with my brother-in-law before and I'd even blocked him. Here's the story. I'm a huge fan of Shui and often post short fanfiction stories. One day, I suddenly received a private message from my brother-in-law. The chat log is shown below. Shui's one and only official husband. Hello. Please don't call Shui wife from now on. Blogger. Shui's one and only legitimate husband. Because she's my wife, you're illegally married. Blogger. Where did this elementary school kid come from? Have you finished your summer homework yet? Your top priority right now is the transition to middle school. Ha ha ha. That's hilarious. Come to think of it. It must have been the day they got married. My brother-in-law was just looking for some attention, but he ended up getting cursed out and blocked. This post was featured on my homepage. Just then, Jiang Xian arrived to pick me up from work. As soon as I saw him, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Are you that happy? Jiang Xian felt a little jealous. Who makes you this happy when I'm not around? Only you can make me this happy. I was spouting sweet nothings about not wanting any money. She leaned in, wrapped her arms around him, and kissed him. Jiang Xian feels insecure. He always seems to doubt that I like him, so I always tell him over and over again, in the most dramatic way possible, that I love him very much. Such a childish ploy. Yet it managed to completely throw Jiang Xian off balance. Let's take a different route. Let's go somewhere else today. Jiang Xian. I'll drive. I didn't even need to use the navigation. I just drove straight to the building in the residential complex and parked there. The secret hideout my butler took me to in my past life. Inside are all the items Jiang Xian has collected that are related to me. I thought it was a surprise. To his surprise, Jiang Xian in the passenger seat seemed a little flustered. He even apologized to me. How did you know about this place? Have you been inside? Do you think I'm a creep? I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Really. I pretended to be serious and threatened him. I think you'll just find another secret hideout. Hoard even more of my stuff. And be even more careful not to let me find out. Jiang Xian. I called him out without mercy. Actually. I really like it. Maybe I'm a bit twisted too. I love the way you love me so intensely. Throwing yourself into it without a second thought. I am the first person in Jiang Xian's life. Cheer me on. Be my most loyal subject. That feeling of being deeply needed, longed for, and cherished. It captivates me. Jiang Xian. Let's have a make-up wedding. That night, Jiang Xian was particularly excited. I just want to crumble me to pieces and lick me away. Finally. I just couldn't take it anymore. Jiang Xian. I still have some old photos theory all from when I was a kid. If you manage to get it, the collection at the Snow Museum will be even more extensive. Do you want it? Jiang Xian's eyes lit up, and his face was filled with longing. I want it. I want everything about you. I pinched his cheeks. If you want it, then stop moving already.